beautiful. These were given to me as a gift from a neighboring Wisconsinite. Hi, Mandy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tracy, and I'm a part-time reseller on the platform Poshmark. And my channel is dedicated to my reselling journey. I started reselling in 2023. Didn't know a lot about reselling online. Didn't know a lot about clothes, but I told myself I'm going to teach myself. So this channel is dedicated to that. I like doing thrift hauls. I like doing what sold videos. I like doing mystery boxes, which lately I've been really trying to learn jewelry, and I don't think I'm doing too bad. But anyways, today's video is a what sold video. I usually do them every 2 weeks, but my second half of February was pretty rough. I mean, I had some okay sales, but a lot of really low earnings, $10 bills. And I didn't want to bore you with that. So I waited for this time period, which is March 1st through the 15th. I had some pretty good sales, a lot of fast flips, and I want to share that with you. So in that time period, I sold 40 items, which isn't a ton, but like I said, I am a part-time reseller, so I'm happy with that. So let's just get into it, right? All right. The first thing to sell, oh, and I forgot. I will pop up a picture over here of the item that sold. And when I tell you my earnings, that is minus the platform fees and my cost of goods. The first thing to sell was this vintage Walter West wooden pull toy. I picked this up at a garage sale that was having, everything was 50% off. And I paid $5 for it. I just thought it was cool. It took quite a while to sell, almost 2 years, but it finally did sell for $44 with my earnings being $30.20. Next is one of my favorite Disney movies, and that is Toy Story. This was a lot of a Woody and Bullseye plush that I paid $1 each for at a garage sale. These two sold together for $26 with my earnings being $18.80. Next is a jewelry piece. I got these earrings by Cezanne in a thread up 15-piece mystery bag. My average cost of goods for those earrings was $5. They sold for $25 with my earnings being $15, and they sold within a week. So that was awesome. Next is another thread up item. One of my favorite boxes is the shoe box. And these were a pair of J. Crew Sophia kitten heels, just adorable little heels. I paid $4.36 for them, and they sold for $75 with my earnings being $55.64. So really good sale there. And they didn't take very long, just a couple weeks to sell. Next is a piece I had listed for almost 2 years. I picked this up because it was new with tags. It was a Columbia pale pink hoodie. I paid $2.50 for it. It sold for $29 with my earnings being $20.70. 2 years. I thought it would have sold a long time ago. Next is a piece I got for free from my brother. He was cleaning out a storage unit and he got to keep everything, so he handed off some things to me. And it was this vintage Y2K cachet white leather shoulder bag. It sold for $31 with my earnings being $24.80. Next is a piece out of my own closet. Been trying to declutter and get rid of things that we don't wear or use. And this sweatshirt did not fit me or my husband anymore, but it was a full zip hoodie and it had graphics for the band Korn on it. So no money into this. And well, at one point in time, I guess. But it sold for $25 with my earnings being $20. So that's pretty good for grabbing something out of your own closet and trying to get a little bit something for it instead of just donating it. Next is a jewelry piece. This was a vintage Napier gold tone leaf necklace that I got in a, I think it was in an America's Thrift Supply 5-pound mystery jewelry bag that I did not record. My average cost for that was around $3, but it sold for $20 with my earnings being $13. Next is something I had sitting in my office for probably close to 2 years. The reason I didn't list it was because it's heavy, very heavy, and I knew I would have to pay extra shipping. Well, now Poshmark, over 5-pound shipping is actually not that bad. So I finally listed it and it sold within the same week. But it was this, it's called the Cinch. It was a bookbinding, scrapbooking machine. I paid $5 for this at a garage sale. It sold for $64 with my earnings being $41.20. And that is after the extra shipping as well. Next is a really cool piece, an exciting piece that I knew would sell very quickly. It sold within days. This is the Johnny Was maxi dress. It was just the overlay. It didn't have the underneath. If I would have had the underneath like tank dress to it, it would have been worth a lot more money. But I got this in a thread up box in a really good 25-piece mixed clothing box. If you haven't seen that video, I will link that down below in the description. Go check that out. But I paid $2.84 for this Johnny Was dress. It sold for $95 with my earnings being $73.16. So that was an excellent sale. Next, another jewelry piece out of a thread-up jewelry, 15-piece jewelry bag. This was a signed Judith Haas cuff bracelet. I paid an average of $5 for this. It sold for $68 with my earnings being $49.40. Yay. And I'm just really excited that these jewelry pieces are selling because I don't know a lot about jewelry, but I am learning. And it's kind of exciting and I'm enjoying it. Next is this Pier 1 Snowman Drummer Nutcracker that I paid $1.50 for at an estate sale. It sold for $17 with my earnings being $12.10. And I just did a video, a 90-day update on this estate sale. And this was one of the remaining items that didn't sell. And now it's sold. Next, another thread up item. This came out of a shoebox. These were the Skechers On The Go loafer sneakers that were brand new without tags. I paid $4.36 for them. They sold for $20 with my earnings being $11.64. Next is a Carhartt jacket. It was a flame-resistant men's coat that I paid $5 for at a garage sale. It sold for $59 with my earnings being $42.20. Another jewelry piece. This came out of my Goodwill blue box that just posted not too long ago. It was a J. Crew gold tone beetle grasshopper necklace. $3 average I paid for that. It sold for $15 with my earnings being $9. Another thread up item. These came out of a shoebox. These were a pair of UGG leather and suede boots. I paid $7.31 for this pair. They sold for $40 with my earnings being $24.69. Really nice pair of UGG boots. Next is this Newitt Tag Gap Cotton Eyelet cropped top that came out of a thread up box that I paid $2.84. This sold really quickly, which I'm surprised, but it was cute, so I knew it would sell. It sold for $23 with my earnings being $15.56. Another thread up item, another pair of shoes. These were the Hunter Lilac Purple Clogs that I paid $4.36 for. They sold for $40 with my earnings being $27.64. Next is a piece that when I go to Walmart, I check the clearance and I'm like, Okay, for 88 cents, I'll pick that up and see what I can do with it. It was this Hallmark Star Wars Bad Batch Hunter Christmas ornament that I paid 88 cents for on clearance. It sold for 10 with my earnings being $6.17. Little bit of retail arbitrage, not a lot of profit, but it's gone. Next are these white sandals by the brand Reef. Came out of a ThredUp box. I paid $7.31 for these. They sold for $21 with my earnings being $9.49. Next is, I've been selling these. This mystery mixed jewelry bag of wearable jewelry. It was a little over 3.5 pounds. I've been making these up out of, when I do these 5-pound mystery boxes from America's Thrift Supply or Goodwill Blue Box or ThredUp, you get a lot of pieces that aren't worth a lot, aren't really listable on their own. So I'm throwing them into these mystery bags. This one here sold for $30 with my earnings being $24. So I'm still getting rid of the jewelry just for a little bit of less money, but it's gone and it's not piling up here. Next is a piece my husband picked out at Goodwill. We were shopping together one day and looking around, and he's seen this little crocheted baby blanket. And I'm like, absolutely. And it was $1.99. It sold for $20 with my earnings being $14. Next, in my last jewelry video was a Goodwill Blue Box. And in that Blue Box mystery bag, there was a ton of J. Crew statement necklaces. A portion of them were not listable. They had a lot of tone loss and wear. So I just didn't want to put them into a craft bag. So I took them J. Crew necklaces. I think there was 6 of them. And laddered them together and listed them on Poshmark together because there are collectors of J. Crew. But these 6 J. Crew necklaces sold for $18 with my earnings being $14.40. Here is just a large lot of farm animals and fencing pieces, I believe. I can't remember. Maybe some zoo animals as well that I picked up at a garage sale for $1. They sold for $15 with my earnings being $11. Here's a maxi skirt, vintage. It was a pale yellow by the brand Longhorn. Very Western-ish, I would say. I paid $3 for it. It sold for $20 with my earnings being $13. Here's something that sold really, really quickly, and I'm surprised because it's just by Ann Taylor. They were these gray trouser pants that came out of that really good ThredUp 25-piece clothing box and I paid $2.84 for them. They sold for $22 with my earnings being $14.76. Here is a bundle. These were mine. Like I said, I'm trying to eliminate dust collectors and just get rid of things that I just don't need. But these were 3 Bradford Exchange Eagle wall hangings. Very cool. They sold for $50 with my earnings being $40. Hopefully they made it to their buyer in good condition because with all their little wingtips and stuff, yeah. Next is something kind of cute that I paid 25 cents for at a garage sale. It's just this child's color block little propeller hat. It sold for $8 with my earnings being $4.80. Another item that was mine, I was really into and really do like Asian decor. This was a vintage Chinese porcelain geisha figurine. It sold for $23 with my earnings being $18.40. Another dust collector that I do not need. Next is a vintage skirt that was like blue with blue roses on it. It was by the brand Partners. I paid $2 for it. It sold for $23 with my earnings being $16.40. Next, these are really pretty. I almost kept them, but I didn't because I knew they would sell, and they sold within days. They were a pair of stud earrings by Kendra Scott. They were the Mallory Indigo Kyocera Opal stud earrings. I paid $6.71. They came in a 15-piece mixed jewelry bag from ThredUp. They sold for $45, with my earnings being $29.29. So a lot of this jewelry is doing really, really well. Next is another ThredUp item. This should be called Flippin' ThredUp items, I guess. But this is another ThredUp item that I got in a denim box. They were a pair of Articles of Society skinny jeans. I paid $2.25 for them. They sold for $18, with my earnings being $12.15. Plush. This I got at the Goodwill Outlet bins. My average cost of goods that day was 85 cents. It was this Mary Meyer cute plush llama. It sold for $13, with my earnings being $9.20. Another plush. This one's even more cute. This I paid 25 cents for at a garage sale. It's an FAO Schwartz ballerina sloth. She was just adorable. But she sold for $12, with my earnings being $8.80. Here is my first tie that I've ever sold. I, at a garage sale, bought an entire box of silk ties for $1. And I listed a bunch of them and they just didn't do anything, so I delisted them. But I left this one listed by itself. It was a Tabasco hot sauce silk St. Patrick's Day leprechaun tie. And it sold for $13, with my earnings being $10. And I got like pennies into this tie. So another mystery bag of wearable jewelry sold. It sold for $30, with my earnings being $24. Here's another ThredUp item. These were the round toe pair of Rothy's. $4.36 I paid for them. They sold for $29, with my earnings being $18.84. Next, if you've been here for a while, you know I bought from Helpsy Source a Ralph Lauren linens box. And you got 10 items, and I paid $380 for the box. They're selling slowly, but this was a new Ralph Lauren linen throw pillow cover, just the cover, that I paid $38 for that. It sold for $55, so on this piece, my earning whatever. My earnings are $6. When they all finally sell, I think I'll do an update. It's probably going to be like a 2-year update on that one. But yeah, I'm going to kind of stay away from stuff like that. It's a little bit of a big investment. And it scared me when I did it. And I guess I had a good reason for being scared. Next, another piece to sell pretty quickly was this New Tags Naked Zebra halter top that I got out of a ThredUp box that I paid $2.84 for. It sold for $25, my full asking price, with my earnings being $17.16. And my last item to sell. Summer's starting to sell. This I picked up at a garage sale for $1. It's just the brand Venus one-piece swimsuit. It was just in really nice condition. It still had its liner in it. That's another reason why I picked it up. But it sold for $12, with my earnings being $8.05. And that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for spending some of your quality time with me today. If you're not subscribed, maybe you'll think about subscribing and coming back. I do a lot of mystery box unboxings, and once in a while I throw in some oddball videos. Like I said, if you're new here, in the summer we do backgrounding of cattle. So in a few months, some of them exciting videos will be coming up. Right now, it is still the dead of winter. Mother Nature is being kind of cruel to us with giving us that nice warm weather and then socking it to us again with all this snow. So, but thank you again, everyone, for watching. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on the way out, I'd appreciate that as well. Have a great day. Bye. catch you on the flip side.